Okay, it says we're live. Let me click go live on Instagram because it does a thing. Oh, and Instagram is not Instagramming for me. Wow, why you gotta do this to me, Instagram?
Okay.
I like this never changes with Instagram. Instagram, I have a pet peeve with you.
Really?
It's
It does
why I
that all
don't
the time?
huh?
It does that all the time?
It does it all the time and I do not
Oh,
get why. And it's not letting me edit it either. Either way.
okay.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Well, when you see Fran, you know that it is Friday. So, Charmaine, now you're sideways.
Sorry. Sorry.
So,
Okay.
today is the Fran and Friends podcast. If you're not familiar with the podcast, the point of the podcast is to find healing through self-discovery. And if you missed last week's talk with Charmaine Holland, you're not going to miss, you're not going to want to miss today. So, last week, if you want to know about it, go watch the video. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to give you a bio of Miss Charmaine before she gets on. And Charmaine is not just a guest, but she is also my SC sister. And for those of you that are not familiar with what an SC sister is, there is a healing to advocacy program that is 9 weeks dedicated to people that have incarcerated loved ones. And for myself, my son is incarcerated. For Miss Charmaine, she is a chaplain for a women's prison. I think quite a few of them. And, anyways, she'll share more about that story. So, let me read Miss Charmaine's background so that way you can know that she's legit and she has all the credentials and certifications and all the isms that you need. So, Miss Charmaine Holland, she is a life transformational coach to executives, a justice impact and human trafficking survivor, as well as a financial consultant, property consultant, best-selling author, fashion designer, and storyteller. Yeah, that was just about like 10 things I already dropped for you. So, Charmaine Holland is a successful businesswoman, a spiritual teacher, where she has dedicated her life toward creating a safe space where every woman can experience safety, freedom, love, and hope. Charmaine, can you be our man? That's what we need in life right now.
I hear you, man.
In 1989, Charmaine began her journey coaching and assisting women at a young age as they crossed her path from all walks of life. She left home to become a CFO, a chief financial officer, by the age of 30. She self taught how to become a fashion designer, working among leaders that invited her into visiting the county and state correctional institution for women. Later, started mentoring um, to human trafficking survivors, which gave Charmaine a different understanding of the obstacles and struggles that women face daily. Miss Charmaine,
Yes, ma'am.
where do we start?
I know, right? I know. When people ask me, what was they asking, well, what do you do? No, ask me, what is it I don't do? That part. I have so many things I do, but it's my purpose. It's me finding me.
Talk about that, you finding you. And then I do want to talk about you being a chaplain. Like, how did you get into that? Was there a conversation? Like, talk about what you found finding you is like, because like not a lot of people really know themselves so they can actually find clarity to find themselves because there's so much noise.
It is. It is. And go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I'm no different than you. Nobody else. We're not taught really how to find ourselves. We're just taught to go get the education, well, so we can learn what it is that we really like to do, what it is that we truly like to do. And so by me, finishing school and becoming a teen mom, my world was a little bit different. But how I learned how to do or become who I am is by me going out there and offering service. And how it started, working at a job and finding out there's other things that I need to do. I see in the community, where can I place myself at? And so that's when I started going to places and feeding the homeless, finding my space so I can know who I am, because I really don't know who I am. I'm a mother, and a mother, and being a financial advisor, and that's all nice and dandy, but that's still not telling you the fabric of who you are. Yes, I have a material, but what is this material made of, right? And so I just did a lot of work in the community, working, giving back to the community, helping whatever I can, and then finding other leaders and helping them and seeing how they navigate through life. And how I discovered me more is by the more you give yourself, the more you find out who you are. Even by being a chaplain, working with human trafficking, you understand life starts to it starts to peel like an onion for you to find out the root of who you really are. And I'm still searching. Yes, I have all these things that I do, but who am I really? Am I really a fashion designer? Am I really a financial consultant? Am I really a coaching? These are just things. But who really am I? I didn't realize who I am until I turned maybe last year. I'm actually really a healer. That's who really I am. I am a healer, and what I do, I go out in the world and I heal people mentally, emotionally, physical, and spiritually.
So, sometimes the people that have gone into business, like they really don't know what they want to do, because they don't know themselves, or they're still trying to figure those things out. And even even so, they even take some of these titles, right? Because I've done it
Hmm.
myself too. Take the titles and use that as a cloak for, oh, this is who I am. But it's not really, like you said, the fabric of who you are as a person. Like, could you explain to people? You mentioned that you're a healer, but what does that look like for you? How do you feel that within yourself to know that that is your truth for Charmaine Holland?
Okay, so you asked me two questions. So let me go back to whenever we go for a job, nothing happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. So when I decided that, I want to go look for a job, I want to do cashier, know that you were supposed to do that. So when I went for a job to learn how to deal with money, because I like money, right? So I wanted to learn how to do money, didn't know that I was going to find a owner who poured into me and loved the fact that I was a single mom, and she seen how dedicated I was. So she said, I see something in you. And so by her wanting to teach me more about business, I started learning more about what I can do. Right. So as you learning how to learn things and like, oh, I can really do this. I can really be an office manager. You start to learn more about you and you're starting to develop. So not only are you doing the work, but mentally you're developing. Physically, you're doing something. It's like, oh, it's like a little kid. Let's color. They have the slightest clue what they're coloring, right? But then all of a sudden, let's draw a tree. So the same thing, us as adults, we're learning how to be able to do accounts payable, how to pay bills, or how to receive money and balance your checkbook. So these things will help us when we get a certain age. We learn how to cultivate and how to understand the value of money. So by me working as a cashier, being a financial advisor taught me the value of a dollar. Now I work hard for this. Now what am I do with it? This is mine. Now, how do you want to use it so it can elevate you to the next level, or do you want to take it and just blow it and give it to somebody else? Sorry.
So what I think I heard is that, like, basically jump in so you can find out what it is that you like, or you're adapt to liking, or maybe also too, it's a sign if you don't like it, then that's probably not for you as well.
Absolutely. It's like an ocean. It's like taking a fishing rod and you say, okay, well, what do I want to do with myself? Okay, I'm gonna just throw it in there. Okay, that doesn't sound bad. Okay, maybe I'll go to school for this. And if you like it, if that teacher, see what it is that everything we have everything that we need inside of us. We just have to find the right teacher that's willing to pull it out of us so we can be able to be who we truly are. That's it. But you got to have patience. You got to have the discipline, willing to be able to allow that person to teach you and understand where it can take you.
Yo, so Miss Charmaine, I'll tell you this. I have had teachers and I thought, oh, okay, they were a waste of time. And some of them may have been, but in hindsight, when I look back on those lessons that I thought, oh, they didn't know what they were talking about, they did. I just wasn't ready for them.
That part. Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't ready for them. And then I didn't know. I think I was too into my own self, into
Mm-hmm.
my own ego, to even allow myself to uh, allow them to teach me something. And yeah, I think I totally blew those out the water.
But see, the beautiful thing about it, you recognize it later.
Yeah.
So that means, but the thing about it is never too late. It's going to come back again because you still haven't completed that lesson.
Mhm.
It's like sometimes people, somebody call me and say, "Hey, Charmaine, you want to make 100,000 easy?" No, I don't want to make it easy because it's almost kind of like I truly believe that we have to go according to a certain step, a certain pattern. If I take kindergarten and you trying to take me to high school, I'm gonna miss some things in between. Yeah, money sounds good, but can I manage it the way I want to manage it? Like for example, they say people who win the lottery, they win that jackpot and it going within a couple of months. Why? Because they didn't get the lesson of how to be able to manage that money, how to value that money, how to put it in assets, how to invest it. So you miss the things that you really need. So I don't want to I don't want a fast pace. I want to take my time.
Mm. And I think there's a gentleman, I don't know if it was Sidney Poitier or another more seasoned actor that said, if you want, he said the fastest way to go is to go slow.
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty amazing because, like, I've tried a lot of these quick ways to get to where I'm going, only to be set back steps. And I'm like, ah, why didn't I trust myself to begin with? Why didn't I trust myself to begin with? Could we lean into that? How do we begin to trust ourselves? Because I think, in my opinion, that if we do want to overcome obstacles, learning how to trust ourselves, I think, is one of the biggest things and rewards and
Mm-hmm.
honor that we can bestow upon ourselves. Because then we begin to lean into our own wisdom, our inherent wisdom that we've already been given.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
how do you, for yourself, how do you know that it is your voice speaking to you for you to take this decision or not go with this decision? I know you mentioned that there's those certain steps that you take. It's like growing a plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the seed is going to go through first a dying, a breaking, and then it's going
Mm-hmm.
to sprout up. After it sprouts and germinates, then it begins to grow, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's some pruning that occurs so that the fruits and stuff can begin to grow. What are some of the things that you do for yourself to, I'm not going to say it's a sure way for you not to miss the mark, but what's your process?
Well, I used to always say it's when things don't work out, that means it's time to go back to the drawing board. And don't get me wrong, we all fail, but fail is not a bad thing. Failure is not a bad thing. It's just that didn't work out. So now let's go back to the drawing board and let's figure out another plan. I always say you got plan A to plan Z. One of them going to balance out to get to where you need to go. So when you mention the seed analogy, you have to remember, where do I want to plant my seed and who do I want to plant that seed with? Because all dirt, all soil ain't good. So you have to find out where you want to plant that seed. So that means that requires work. Okay, so if I end up going with that person, really intentionally, what am I get from that person? What have that person already showed me that they already doing that I know that I can follow their strategy and I'm going to be successful? So, and that's how I had to learn when I was with that corporation and was the CFO. I seen that strategy. I seen the success. So I knew I wasn't going to do wrong, but as long as I followed their path. Now, if I come outside and end up going with many people that I have, and I know my why. So you have to understand your why. Why are you doing it? And then you have to kind of look at it and say, okay, I know how I need to go about it. She's doing it a different way, but then I'm gonna listen to her. But if that's not my way to go, I have to pull back. So you have to listen to yourself. and not spend too much time. I was with someone and they were millionaires, and I mean, I just loved their energy and everything, and they were very knowledgeable in the area that I really wanted to learn. But I didn't like their concept. I didn't like their moral efforts. The moral, how they was going about it, that wasn't me. But then I realized I'm looking back and I'm spending so much time. My house is not in order now because I'm so busy doing everything. And I'm looking, I'm thinking, I got to pull back because something's out of balance. Normally, I have balance. I got structure in my home. It ain't there like that. So I have to say, you know what? I'm gonna step back for a moment. The season is over. That season is over, and I did not complete everything. So I'm a season girl. Whenever I know what the season is up for me, I have to pull away. I'll come back again next year. But right now, if I did not make what I need to do with this here process, I have to step back. You have to be obedient and listen to yourself and know
Mm.
when is to stop.
So, if I think I heard you right, that it balance is something that you have to have to
Yes,
know that you're in alignment with yourself.
yes.
I like that. I like that. Mm. What are a few other key things that you've done to keep yourself motivated when you do find yourself in the middle of overcoming some obstacles?
Number one thing you want to do is pay attention to yourself. And it's again, I always tell my kids, I have two boys. I said, look, it's okay to hang with friends and go with friends. I said, but if you're on your way going to the mountaintop and your friend said, hey, I'm going to call my son Derek. Hey, Derek, can you stop for a moment and take me to the store? Well, sure. Where's the store at? Well, the store is back there. Nah, I'm sorry. I love you to death, but I'm going this direction. Now, if
Mm,
the store was this direction, I'll take you that direction because I'm still in my alignment. I'm still focused on what I need to focus on.
mm,
That's the key. You can't people will take you off your track and do this and do that because you think it's good, and you find yourself 6 months later, that ain't what I wanted to do. So now you gotta get back on that lane and get back in alignment so you can go back to the mountaintop where you're trying to go.
that makes
So
some
is
sense.
that make sense?
Yeah, it just brought me to this one analogy that somebody said that if you don't schedule your time, somebody else will schedule it for you.
There you go. That's the analogy that I use for myself and my kids. If I'm not going that direction, love you to death, but I can't do it. Sorry.
No, those are great things. So make sure that people are listening to themselves,
Definitely.
and they have peace, like in the direction that they're going, and then also too, like, are the people that you're talking to going the same direction? And if they're not,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
might be
Absolutely.
time to reevaluate.
Yes, and energy is everything. Even sometimes, even your friends. You have friends and they want to talk to you, but gossip and all that. That's pulling that negative energy. Now you can't even focus on trying to get. You be like, okay, now where's the mountain at? I did see it. It clogged my vision. I got to put you on hold. I got to leave you over there for a moment. This ain't the time. Now, if I wanted some entertainment, I know how to call you. But in the meantime, I need to focus. And so you have to be very disciplined with yourself, and it's really challenging. I mean, I learned how to be very disciplined, and I got some areas that I still need to work on. But it's about being balanced and having the discipline and knowing yourself.
So
No, go ahead. I'm
what do
sorry.
you do for your discipline?
Well, I started at such a young age. It's like my discipline, putting God first. That's number one. Knowing that there's someone higher than you. And higher morals, respecting yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't, and it could be small things, but it's like disciplining myself is that how do you want to see yourself? And if, however you want to see yourself, work on it. Do you want to see yourself? I used to cuss a lot, because my mother was a seller and I used to cuss a lot. And I didn't want to, I said, look, I got a bigger vocabulary than that. So I had to train myself to not use that. And then when I learned how to not cuss, I mean, I felt so good about who I am. I can now talk to people without using them type of language. You know what I'm saying? So that's discipline, training yourself of things that you know that you're uncomfortable with so you can be comfortable with yourself. Uh oh, can't hear you.
Just kidding. I had it on mute. So, what's one of the things that you've done to push yourself out of your own comfort zone so that way you mentioned earlier, you said that you had increased your vocabulary so you don't have to use superlatives anymore. So, what are some of the new things, I guess, or some of the things along your journey that you've used to help yourself grow even when it was uncomfortable?
Stepping back, being okay, not being everywhere, being okay to be still. You don't have to go to this event because somebody else is going. Find time to yourself. Grab books that you find interested in you. Find authors that you like what they're saying and how they're growing and how it can help and pour into you.
Miss
Spiritual.
Charmaine, don't be quoting all these things and not giving us any books and authors and stuff like that. You stop playing.
You know what? The sad thing about it, I don't really focus on names. I find out what the interest. So, like for instance, I work with a lot of crystals, so I deal with chakras, and that's one of the things that a lot of modalities I have. So, because I was gifted with a lot of gifts, I have to realize that I'm a spiritual being more than a physical on this earth. Okay, so. I use books, as in chakras, kundalinis, understanding yourself, you know, there's Doctor. Oh, see, I mess up with names, so that's why I don't want to say names. But a
No,
lot
it's
of
totally okay.
yeah, I'm trying to think. There's so many books out there that I have. I mean, my whole. You know how sometimes you go to the store and you see a book, but you're not ready for that book. Yes. Yeah. Okay. There you go. But I grab books only because my spirit. I listen to my spirit, and it's like, grab that book. But it's not. I'm not ready for that book yet. When that
Mhm.
time come, then I say, okay, now I'm ready for that book. So yeah, that's how I do it. But a lot of time I just go within.
Okay.
Finding go within and being around a lot of I'm always around a lot of elders. So I
Mm.
sit with elders. I can sit around elders who have done so much work in the community, and you sit around them and you learn so much. They teach you, and that's where I got a lot of my development, hanging around older people who already have who's an entrepreneur, who's authors, who wrote books, who does a lot of stuff in the community. And that's really how I became where I'm at, by seeing
So,
what they do.
yeah, I think those are one of the main resources that I think we as a community should lean back into because the elders have experienced things that we haven't. And
Yes.
I feel like they are fortified in some things that we need
Hmm.
still. So maybe stopping at a convalescent home.
You know what? Why not? You can do there, or maybe find your church. For me, I converted to Ellis Line when I was 30, in my 30s,
Hmm.
and I just kind of just was doing a lot of community service, working with different organizations, and all of a sudden, I started working with the leaders in the community, and they would need my help. Man, it's like, okay, I have all this background. Why not? Okay, help you with a banquet, help you with this, and help you with the office. And so I just learned. And then from that point, people started coming to me with, I mean, hey, I need your help with this. I need your help. And so that's how I end up learning from different leaders in the community.
Oh,
So your
okay.
church, go to your masjid, somebody who you look up to, some people who you admire. And I will say that your inner spirit, God will guide you to who He wants you to follow. You know what I'm saying? But then
Yes.
also you have to follow your spirit. If you see something ain't right, okay, God, okay, I got enough from this person. Let me, because this person ain't walking right. Let me go find somebody else. Show me somebody else who I need to follow. But
Yeah.
also keep your eyes open and see. I like that person. Maybe I need to pay attention to that person, or listen to a lot of. We have so many people, celebrities that do so much teaching us. I listen to a lot of TD Jakes and all different people out there who's doing something. We can learn from other people, but you just got to see the value in how it's benefiting you.
Yeah. I don't know
And
if
not
TD Jakes is a he questionable right now.
I know. Listen, I only said that because you asked me who. So I'm just going back. Maya Angelou, Ayana Van Zandt, all them, all that growing. You listen to these, and they actually teach you. They putting seed into you where you're developing, and it's making sense. And as you grow, you be like, okay, all right. So that's pretty much, how I
Okay.
learned. And I learned by seeing. I watch. I love to watch and pay attention to people.
Okay, that's beautiful. I like what's his name, Miles Monroe.
Yes, yes, definitely. You, yes. A lot of, yeah. It's the
I,
spirit of the leadership. Yes, I
yes,
listen to a lot of his. Yes,
I have a lot of his books, and I haven't even read through all of them, which I should. Not
yes.
should, but like you said, when you're
Take
ready for
time.
it,
Yeah,
yeah, it'll find
absolutely.
you. It'll find you.
Absolutely. Yes, it will. Yes, I stumbled on Miles Monroe. I didn't even know about him. One day I'm just scrolling through YouTube and I said, oh, I like that topic. And then that's how, so that's how I get a lot of some of my information. And some of it just be confirmation, letting you know I'm on the right path. Okay, all
Mm,
right. I'm in agreement with what you're saying. And that's how I do it.
okay, I love that.
And then
All right.
sometimes after you listen to so many people, you got to step back now, and now you got to digest it. Listen to
Mm,
yourself, because if you listen to so many other people, then you don't know what is it that you need to do.
yeah. Like you said, a lot of voices can create a challenge, can create noise, can create distraction. Um, I'll just go back into what I was talking about like earlier. I had wrote this newsletter and I just talked about me having to step back because I was feeling, you already know what my situation was with my son.
Yes.
And so I really had to retract from the things that I was doing because I felt like it was too heavy for me to
Mm-hmm.
even try to create content. Like I can't create content from a space of heaviness,
Yes.
or a space of where I have to, my energy is being pulled in so many places. And so I just told myself, just kick back, friend. You're going to be okay. You just got to feel what you're feeling in this moment and allow yourself that space to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you telling me too, like, do what you need to do to recalibrate yourself. And so having that inner wisdom, I'm really grateful because now I feel like I'm back and I'm back with some new weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel refreshed. I feel revitalized. I feel that I can start just rearranging and just do 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 do, like a puzzle
Mm-hmm.
piece. Yeah. So I'm really grateful. So
and, and,
yeah,
and I'm grateful that you actually listened and really stepped back and took care of you, because that was a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. So thank you for that, Miss Charmaine.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome, darling.
I know that you have like some books and stuff that you read, and then also too that you're getting ready to go to an event. So we can cut it short a little bit today. Um, can you tell everybody, because I did mention that you do quite a few things,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
you have coming up, and also let them know about your book and where they can find it.
Okay, yes. So I'm an author of two books. One is called Walking in Your Purpose, One Day at a Time. And that's a spiritual affirmation book. And affirmations are very powerful. That's another thing, is about you owning who you are by saying, I'm beautiful. You can say it, but you got to keep saying it until you own it. I realized that you can say it, but say it until people say it to you. That's
Mm.
when you know you're walking in it. So walking in your purpose is about that, tearing the walls down so your light can shine. And then walking, go ahead.
Speaking of, Miss Charmaine, when you said that, a mirror reflection just came over your face. And that reminded me, like, when you are doing these affirmations, speak them to yourself in the mirror.
Yes.
And I'm telling, like, even this whole week for myself, for this, Miss Charmaine, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. It's all
Um,
right. It's your show. You can do whatever you want to do.
it is my show, but we sharing. But it don't mean nothing if I don't have you guys on the show because you've walked a different life than I have.
Yes, ma'am.
So I definitely can't speak about your experiences. I definitely can't, have those kind of conversations. I can
Yes, ma'am.
empathize. So, but yeah, I have been working in this book called Calling in the One.
Okay. Call it in the one.
And yeah, and it's by Catherine Woodward Thomas.
Okay.
And it's about attracting like your partner,
Mm-hmm.
your life partner. But when you go through the exercises are really about you and you removing your limiting beliefs
Mm-hmm.
and affirming to yourself through affirmations. So once you identify these negative belief systems that were created when you were younger or the experiences that you've had. Now they're saying, okay, now find out what you are doing now to counteract those things that you've been participating in. Fast forward, I'm in like week 19 of this thing.
Okay.
And can I tell you that all this week, Miss Charmaine, that I have had men just stop me on the street, like
Ooh.
telling me, hey, you're very beautiful. And like, those are not things like I've had that done when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
but it seemed like this week or and last week have been like more of those kind of interactions.
Okay.
Physical beauty is fine, but I think one of the main things that have created that attraction is because of the love that I have been inputting into myself through these
Yes.
self affirmations, through creating these boundaries of telling the universe of the things that I do want to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways,
I
so
love it. I love it. So that means that you're doing the work, and as you doing the work, you're putting down the walls.
yeah.
So now you're allowing people to see you, like, oh, I see her. Oh, you so beautiful. At first, there was a wall. You just was doing your thing. Like, ain't paying nobody no mind. So you're doing the work, and that's what happens. They end up people getting to see you because you let the walls down. Your light is shining. And like I think at last podcast, I was saying how we go through so much in life that people the hurt and the pain that we go through is almost kind of like a cover been put over us. So we're just walking and people just seeing you, but they're not really seeing you because no light is shining. We have been protecting ourselves, but once you come out and say I am and using these affirmations and keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it, you're almost kind of like pulling that veil over you. And
Mm.
it's like, oh wow, I can see. I'm standing tall now. I'm looking beautiful. I feel good about myself. Other people just giving you that confirmation and saying, yes, you are beautiful.
I love
So
that.
that so keep doing the work. And then okay, and then back to the book. And then the other one is called Walking with Grace. So once you find your purpose, it ain't an easy journey.
Mm.
So you're gonna need grace to go along with you. And many times I'm thinking, oh Lord, I can't take it. And all of a sudden I hear, Grace is with you. And I said, okay. And it just kind of just give me another boost and let me know I'm not alone. Just keep on doing it. It's going to be hard, but sometimes I ask myself, what is the price of your dream? Is
Mm.
it going to cost you a price? Are you
Mm.
willing to go through it? And
Mm.
so, with that being said, my book it is on Amazon. You can get on Amazon, or you can go to I think did you put it on your page? Because my
No,
website is
I'm
under
gonna do it after
construction.
the show. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so it's on your page, or you can cash app Charmaine Holland, or if you want to Zelle me, you can Zelle me. And Fran, I have the Zelle information on the page later on this evening. I'm on Facebook. I have two N's in Charmaine and two N's in Holland, and that's how you can find me for right now. Everything I'm revamping everything for right now.
Well, Miss Charmaine, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
And
you.
I know, it was a sure. I know you have to go to your next event, so I
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate the energy always, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
you keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fabulous job. You've given us the opportunity to share to help others in the community, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, ma'am.
All
All right,
right.
Miss Charmaine, you have a great rest of your day and
You
enjoy
too,
your
darling.
new speech.
Yes,
All right,
thank you, darling. Bye
all
bye.
right, bye bye.